This is my space. It's vibrant. It's alive. It's not staged. It's full of color. I go on so many presentations and meetings where everything has to be perfectly staged, hair has to be perfectly done, and the words all have to be perfectly said, and they have to be the language of, let's call it the thought waves that are all around us that provide either approval or rejection or growth in loving abundance by design. I just had a meeting with a woman she's almost a master of wisdom and understanding life and how we attain what is mastery. And her definition of mastery is still growing. And so I needed to leave that meeting because she wasn't prepared to meet me where I am, to share in a balanced way of masculine, feminine, and sacred energy that blends both into leadership and understanding and power. That's the first time I've had to really just say goodbye, wish someone well, and leave a meeting. This is happening for me because the energy is up right now. We don't have more time to dither, to hold on to our precious sacred cows, to cling to relationships that hurt us, to move towards relationships when we don't have a full understanding of who we are in ourselves. That's a form of drowning, voluntary drowning, jumping in and drowning. Because you haven't learned how to swim. And why haven't you learned how to swim? Because no one bothered to teach you. There are many events in life where we experience something that we really needed to know. And there was no one to teach us. There was no one to sit and cry with as we learned something really difficult, destabilizing, scary. In those moments, many people turn to organized religion. And when you do that, you just drown in a different river. I'm an ordained minister, so I don't have an axe to grind with organized religion. I just know its limitations. And I know what it feels like to appreciate what it is, to see its limitations, and then choose to grow beyond them. If you are a woman today, you are in peril, as women have not been in peril since the days when they burned witches. You are in peril of losing your political voice. You are in peril of being overrun by electrical masculine energy that does not any longer understand the energy of love. So this is me coming forward with a different voice on my YouTube channel. No tarot cards, no ancient Buddhist philosophy, no Tao wisdom, no prayers, no angels. just what it is to be fully and beautifully human, struggling and loving every moment of awareness that I have given time, life, and energy to receive. I'm also very frank and direct, and many women and men perceive me as aggressive. Oh, that's not appropriate for a brown woman. Sit back. Shut up. Go with the organized flow of all the boxes, the containers, the ship containers that have fallen off of the cargo ships that were overturned and sunk during the pandemic. If you're a woman, as you're right now watching this today, somehow you found your way to my channel, and you're a woman who is really struggling to maintain the sacred Trinity balance that you hold, masculine, feminine, source energy, I am with you. If you are a man today in a biological male body with the usual biological male parts, and you're choosing to remain a biological male, despite the deep gap in information you have about your own energetic field and how you use the electrical energy that you carry as an embodied masculine male being. If you are doing so much and throwing away so many old paradigms that were passed to you by your mother and father and your grandparents and your ancestral lineage, I am with you. I am with you. This is the work that the next generation will do. This is the transformation that you will bring to bear on this place we call Earth, in this life we call the modern world. So silly. If you understand that we're in a time where what we think of as human beings and loving families, jobs, careers, if you understand that this time on this planet has passed and that we are being recycled out and that we will be recycled out until there is not a one of us left that is of no use to what is known as the forces that be. We got through one pandemic. Some of us made it, some of us did not. If you lost someone, you have my sympathy, because that kind of loss is very difficult to bear. I've lived that. I've lived the loss of someone that I dearly love. I've also lived the loss of unborn babies. I lived the loss of toxic masculine energy in partnership. I've lived the loss of toxic masculine energy as a father. I've lived the loss of toxic feminine energy as mother and grandmother, and even in myself. If this is part of your story, I am with you. This video is going to go into a blog post on Living Lessons Library, and it'll be posted on my website. And here we are, 2023 is more than halfway over. In 3 months, we will be in 2024. And then in 3 years, we will be in 2027. If you know in your heart and soul, in your sacred trinity of wisdom that lives in your DNA, your mRNA, and in your heart, you can feel what's coming. You can feel the opportunity and the crisis. And what I would say to you now is, before you do more work to save the world, be very certain that you have saved yourself. And you are not going to be able to save yourself if you don't fully understand your full being, which includes your bio-spiritual anatomy, any more than you would be able to continue to breathe in a room where there's no oxygen. Your bio-spiritual anatomy is the source and what brings in the life force, without which your lungs do not work. So that even if there is oxygen, if your lungs stop working, you will cease to be. You can't see your lungs with your eyes. You just trust that they're going to keep going in and out, exhaling and inhaling. You can't see oxygen with your eyes. You're just going to trust that it's there for you every day, while the planet is burning the source of the oxygen that human beings live by. Millions and millions and millions of acres of trees are being burned. Trees are the lungs of this planet. Trees are the source of biological exchange of carbon dioxide absorption with exhalation of trees of oxygen. And yet everyone is talking about climate change. Well, what would you expect when you've burned down a significant, more than 30% of the planet's forests? You expect to continue to be able to breathe, do you? Well, I wish you luck with that. And yet, the forces that be cannot stop themselves from burning down the lungs of the planet. They cannot stop themselves from continuing to generate fossil fuels. They cannot stop themselves of sucking all the pure aquifer water out of the planet. They cannot stop themselves. And what do they give in return for all this that they take? Well, what's your answer? I'd love you to share with me in a comment. Perhaps our answer is the same. Thank you for watching this video. I feel that there will be more coming, because the conversation that I had today with this wonderful woman who is so close, and my conversation with her robbed her of a sacred cow. And she lost it. And then she tried to shift me into her thinking, as if I didn't hear her, as if I didn't know what her thinking was, as if I didn't see her and understand her and know what her pain is. So I thank her, and I thanked her before I abruptly left the meeting. I thank her for inspiring me to make this video. Because there are many women today who are in similar places. They're either struggling with receiving, or they're struggling with leadership. They're struggling with family. They're struggling with relationship. They feel deeply in their hearts and souls what is true and just and nurturing and life-enhancing. And they're so tired of hacking their way through the jungle that has been grown to be burned down now by both men and women. Men in a toxic leadership space and women in a toxic passive space. And if you are unable to balance your feminine energy, your masculine energy in the sacred trinity that actually gives rise to your ability to have a heart that beats and have lungs that breathe, this is the moment when I ask you to take a minute, take a breath, and pause. If you are a young person, a young adult, age 22 to outside 45, I am with you. I'm with you as a wise elder. I'm with you as a wise elder who has knowledge and wisdom, not just information, that you need to shave the hours, minutes, days, years, and months off of the timeline that you are on, which is the timeline of drowning. Slowly. And in an environment that you didn't create, it isn't your design. No one asked you, how should we do this? No one asked you, is it okay with you if we do this? Why? Because the system of separation does not recognize you as anything other than truly a battery, or a cow to milk or butcher, or a river to pollute, or a sky to set on fire with chemicals. This is painful to face. Because at the bottom line, the message is, human beings, you're not loved. It's all around you. You can see that you are not loved. That shatters every paradigm when so much emphasis is put on love and light. What do you do when you come face to face with the full-on shattering awareness that the system that you are living inside of not only doesn't love you, they don't even pretend to love you anymore. They're mollifying you to stay quiet, to keep going, like the cow heading into the butcher station in the feedlot. Stay calm. We'll structure the environment so you stay calm, so that you go quietly. Not my choice. Doesn't have to be yours. So you have choices. I love to share with you what they are. And I would be so happy to open the opportunities for you to find your own way out. You can. I did. But you have to be willing to see what's invisible, and feel what's invisible, and hear what's invisible when it speaks to you, and be able to trust it. And that requires discernment. And I had a meeting with a marvelous woman this morning who has so much to share. A lot of wisdom, a lot of know-how, but she lacks discernment. And it was her lack of discernment that invited me to leave the meeting after I had accommodated her request when she asked me what did I want. How could she support me? And I simply told her, very directly. Simple words. She was not able to take that in because she had made an assumption already about who I was and why I was there. She didn't ask me. And I used my discernment to acknowledge the mastery of the level of mastery that she indeed has attained. And also to acknowledge my own. And that was too much. She couldn't imagine that there would be another one who could have the same unique level of mastery and be a woman. That was more than she could receive. If you are another woman, bird saying yeah, on this planet, and you know that you have mastery, and you use it wisely and well, and you're able to receive and discern and lead, I am with you. I think I'll leave it there. Peace and blessings.